Hello and welcome to The Studio Demands It, an exercise in creative thinking where we will challenge ourselves to conceptualize, pitch, and craft a film based on the demands and stipulations from one of you listeners acting as a hypothetical Hollywood overlord.
Overlord!
Do you know how often we talk movies?
All the time.
That is right, Jim. And as screenwriters ourselves and avid cinephiles, we'd like to believe ourselves capable of meeting any demand any studio would throw at us, at least as well as the screenwriters working under the restrictions of the bigwigs fronting the bills in Hollywood. We will be your screenwriters for today. I am T.C. DeWitts. I almost fumbled my own name.
It happens.
And joining me as always, mind, body, and spirits, is Jim Winge Burzelic.
Yeah.
I like a good winge.
I think that's probably the most appropriate middle name / known alias you have given me thus far in the 2.5 years we've been doing this.
Because you love a good whinge.
I am a complainer.
I like the word whinge. It feels like a British word.
It is.
Because it's not
basically the British version of wine.
Oh, okay.
WHIN.
You always whinging over here.
Yeah. Just like that, yeah.
Yeah.
You used it correctly.
Thank you. All right, good. So any complaints today? We in this we don't go out of our way to like criticize. We do criticize, but I don't feel like we unjustly we never just say we don't like this movie, period. Right? Because I don't like when people review movies that way, where it's like, this movie sucks. This movie's so stupid. Sure. It's like,
well, we try to justify it.
Yeah.
That doesn't always mean that our justifications are correct.
Sure, but
they can very often be subjective.
Sure, and more often than that, they're going to be.
Yeah.
But I do feel like I was having a conversation with someone recently about reviewing movies where I'm not just going to rip a movie apart for the sake of ripping it apart. I will.
Sure.
I know how hard it is to make a movie, so I'm not going to like, hey, you buttheads for making this thing. It's like, I know you put a lot of effort in this. I just wish you would have put effort in a different direction.
Sure.
Such as the script.
Yeah.
Yeah. Such as making a better, we'll say Blues Brothers.
I see what you did there. No, where I went instead, the notion of hate watching. I'm trying to remember the last thing I hate watched. And I hate watch TV shows more than movies. And honestly, I feel bad about that because I know a lot of effort and work goes into them as well. And it didn't start as a hate watch, but the one I'm thinking of is The Strain.
That was the Guillermo del Toro pseudo zombie
vampire.
Okay.
Yep. And there were parts of it I liked, but man, that show went in a direction. The characters particularly went in directions and behaviors and that I just couldn't get on board. And it eventually got to a point where like I was counting the characters I did like because they didn't spend too much time doing stupid things.
But you kept watching.
I did.
Did that show like come to a logical conclusion, or did it get canceled?
I didn't get that far.
Well, your hate could only take you so far.
It could. I think it got me 2 seasons in. I think it lasted 3.
I feel your hate.
So I need to go back and finish that show.
Well, why would you? Like
to know what happens.
you can watch a recap on YouTube for that.
Because my memory likes to polish things. And so even though I know I hate watched it, there are things like I remember liking there were 2 characters who didn't quite cross me yet.
Okay.
So I still liked the rat catcher and the old man. The rat catcher played by Kevin Durant, who we talked about a few episodes.
Not the basketball player who was also not in Uncut Gems incorrectly by me.
Correct. Yes. And the old man was played by I don't remember his name. He was Filch in Harry Potter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know I can't think of the actor's name off the top of my head, but I know exactly who you mean.
I really liked them. I wanted to watch the show for them as long as they didn't do something dumb. And I know that where I got to in the show, they got real close. They got real close to doing stupid things.
Do not do it, Kevin Durant.
They didn't quite cross. So I was like, I want to
do not cross me.
I was so mad at that show. the woman doctor was great, and then she just devolved into, but I'm having an affair with you, and that's all I care about. Oh, and now I swoon. What? No,
Winch,
you started awesome.
Winch.
The main character was played by the guy who was the bad guy in Ant-Man.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep.
And he started okay, and then quickly became just an asshole. And what made it worse is he had a kid, right, that he was trying to take care of the whole time, and the kid would make stupid, terrible. That's a little common, right? That's a little bit of, shut up, Carl, get back in the house, Carl. That's a terrible Walking Dead reference. Carl. And just everyone was yelling at Carl for like a season or two there.
This is why he left the show.
Yeah.
It's like I put my quarter in the pinball machine and I started doing so well that the thing started making more noises. That's your whinging at this point, where it's like,
true.
when you get way up here, and you turn into Charlie Day.
Yeah, I do. I wasn't gonna. I was just gonna mention it and
well,
go on, and then instead, I told you all about what I remember from the Strain, which was on, what was it, TNT or FX or something?
FX, I think.
I don't even know.
This literally has
like
nothing to do with the show today.
5 years ago, 6 years ago, I'm complaining about.
Well, we are.
Anyway,
we're going to be on a topic today that would leave many a people whinging, and hopefully we can, get over that, because I'm sure people have hate watched where we're going more than once.
Really?
And maybe they'll hate listen to the episode. So anyway, let's get to our demand for this episode.
Bet you they didn't expect a 5-minute complaint about a vampire show.
Probably not. Of all the things they could have done. I don't remember this Disney movie. Is this the one with the vampires?
Has Disney ever done a vampire?
No.
Other than Donald Duck becoming a vampire in a cartoon?
I mean, the only animated vampire you're going to get, or not only, but like Hotel Transylvania has a whole trilogy, and that's
sure, but that's DreamWorks,
right.
Isn't it?
Illumination or DreamWorks, yeah.
We could play a game where we each try to list a cartoon vampire going back and forth. There are a bunch.
Disney done
one
animated vampires? No, not that I can think of. That nothing comes to mind. We had Cernabog in Fantasia, but he's not a vampire. He's a freaking demon. Yeah. A Russian demon. Anyway, our demand. Our success as podcasters and screenwriters has given us a growing collection of demands from studios literally all over the world. And these studios are you listeners who have submitted your requests over at studiodemandsit.com or on Twitter at studiodemandsit. You can send any demand you like. Remake a movie better than what we got. Make a sequel that we never got. Make a film that should totally exist. Give us a scenario and see what we do with it. Whatever you throw at us, we will take it and make something up right here on the spot with very little preparation, recorded live. So thank you for your submissions. All of you, keep them coming. Jim, you know what we have today because we had to do some homework.
Also, The Strain was on FX, I remember.
Thank you. So, in preparation for Frozen, which
yes. What?
I know you're shocked. I saw the demand come in. I didn't read what the demand was. I just saw the subject was Frozen. I was like, I don't know if Jim has seen Frozen. So we watched them.
Yes, we did.
We did a double feature of Frozen. We have now watched it. We did do a pseudo commentary track that may be released as some sort of bonus content, TBD.
Yeah.
But Jim has done his homework, as have I, in terms of knowing those movies.
I'm all frozen up.
You're frozen up. You're frozen. So this comes from a very clever studio demander.
Oh.
So this comes from Mouse at Disney Animation Studios.
Oh, Mouse, because Mickey.
I don't.
Nice.
I don't think this is actually Disney Animation Studios, but they're everywhere, so you never know. And here is our demand. After the monumental success of Frozen in 2013, it was a given that Disney would capitalize and make a sequel, which we did get in 2019's Frozen 2. The Disney demands were easy to assume. Keep the main cast as the main characters, give them more merchandising. I'm assuming give the company more to merchandise. The little lizard thing, obviously. Diversify the world with new characters. However, after 6 years, the film they gave us was a messy series of ideas better suited for a mini-series crammed into, as opposed to crammed into 100 minutes. The studio demands you imagine yourself in 2013, tasked with conceptualizing and pitching the sequel film that would come. Do not feel as though you have to use the ideas of the existing Frozen 2, as they were obviously plucked from nothingness to begin with. That's not too far off. Can you make Disney another $1 billion? Can you leave people happy to have had more and thus make them want a third? The studio demands that you try. Thank you, Mouse, for your demand.
So I want you to do that. I want you to read the demand again, but in Mickey Mouse's voice.
Why didn't I think of that?
After the monumental success.
Perfect. This podcast's the best.
This is why there is no feature film with Mickey Mouse, because that voice works fine in a short, in small doses, in reaction noises.
But can you imagine watching a 90-minute movie of someone talking like this?
I don't think so. I do not think so.
Well, I don't think it would be Mickey all alone. You would do the three of them.
You do Mickey, Donald, Goofy for sure. But
I think you could do that.
Maybe.
I don't know why they haven't.
The closest we got was Mickey and the Beanstalk, which is attached as a package film, fun and fancy free, I believe. Or as it's that and whatever, I can't remember. Bongo the Bear. There we go. Anyhow, Mickey is. Thank you, Mouse, for this demand. So, Jim, basically, what would we have done with Frozen 2 as the demand, which is pretty freeing. I mean, we don't have a lot of restrictions in this. So, having watched Frozen 2, I think we agreed it is not nearly as strong as the first one.
No,
though the first one does have its little bit of hiccups in the obvious rewrites during production.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about this when we watched it. They had 6 years. What, it came out in 13, and then the next one came out in 19 to write a movie, and the one they gave us did not feel cohesive. It felt like a jumble of ideas.
Mm-hmm. They had to work real hard to get us to the place where we then needed to leap off of for the conflict.
Yeah. It's like halfway,
so much backstory.
Halfway through the movie before Elsa goes off on her own to chase down whether or not she's the fifth element.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, is basically what if Elsa was a combination of the fifth element and Avatar?
Well, yeah, the Last Airbender.
The Last Airbender, yes, not Na'vi. What? Now we're making that. What if Elsa was Na'vi?
No, she's an X-Men. She's an X-Man. Dude, her power level.
She's Bobby Drake.
She is just ice queening it up in that second movie.
I had a thought. She never. This is going off of a not a headcanon, but a fan theory, an apocryphal fan theory that we had come up with on the previous wizard fight thing that you did.
Yeah.
Which
was the Wizard's Duel.
Which was that the blue fairy in Pinocchio is the witch. Was it a witch?
The fairy godmother
that curses Beast.
That curses Beast and the fairy godmother from Cinderella.
Yeah, that's all the same person.
Yeah.
And the thought occurred to me, watching Elsa get more powered up, what if that's actually the blue fairy when she's young? So what if Elsa is the blue fairy?
She becomes the fairy godmother?
To make it work with all those stories, she basically have to be able to jump through time. Yeah. But with the kind of magic she has, why not?
No. I give you the thumbs down.
You don't want that one? Okay, that's fine.
Her power set is so different than the...
Is it?
Yeah, because Blue Fairy, Fairy Godmother, and the Enchantress from Beauty and the Beast, they can transmutate, they can teleport, they bringing things to life, right? That's similar, but
and when Elsa went to the upside down, what was that?
How do ice powers translate into
making life
teleportation?
Or
no, I'll give the bringing things to life thing is super powerful, but
what about the water memory?
Water has memory, but that was Olaf's theory,
and it turned out to be true.
Yeah, well, are we sticking that in the movie here?
And so, if Elsa can bring water to life, and water stores memories. Why couldn't she travel through
this
water?
This is a huge leap, man. Normally I'm on board with this sort of thing.
Magic.
No,
I look. I know it was a leap.
Hey, let me ask you, Dungeon Master, if my character has an ice-based power set and I'm like, also I can travel through time, are you going to let me get away with that?
I already let you get away with making life.
Why not? You're already bringing things.
And it wasn't even when you got all the other power. It wasn't at your most powerful. It was just like a side effect of one of your early powers.
Oops! I accidentally traveled through time with my ice powers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm doing a raspberry.
It's fine. It's fine. This episode isn't about expanding Elsa's power.
I'm
anyway.
whinging.
Well, actually, no, it is about expanding her power.
But
not like that.
I find it interesting that Elsa being from Arendelle, and her power set being water based, but ice specifically. When they went to the other kingdom, it was very autumn looking. I remember the first trailer I saw for it, not the teaser where she's running through the waves.
Sure.
There was the first full trailer. There was hints of this autumn world that she went to, right? And I thought, oh, is she going to meet another person with abilities that are because there's even in 2 they talk about it looks like freaking the Avatar, right? Like there's
a little bit, yeah.
There is a wind spirits. There's a fire spirit. There's earth spirits.
I made the joke. They're passing through those trees that have all the frozen droplets on it, and it looked like the life tree that all the Na'vi like come from or whatever.
Not that Avatar, Last Airbender Avatar.
I did
Damn
make
you,
that
James
joke.
Cameron. It did,
but it looked like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I thought that I'm just gonna say it's The Last Airbender from now on. I thought that that's what Elsa was gonna meet, was another person with abilities, being autumn. I guess if it was like the 4 seasons have some sort of power set.
Even if you want to relate them to the elements.
Sure. That I guess. So you would have fire, earth, and water.
Actually,
fire, earth, and wind.
In the way I would, winter is what Elsa would be. Freezing, water, spring. Whether we use this or not, spring would be air.
Autumn would be fire.
Autumn, I would actually make earth. Summer would be fire.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah, I agree. Yeah. So
has other nice correlations that I've used in role playing games of the opposites being on opposite sides of each other
of the season
in those 4s.
So having Elsa come across another magic user, if we went to the autumn world, then it would be ice versus earth.
Sure.
Right. I don't know if we want to go in that direction, but that's just where, from seeing that first trailer, I thought, oh, other magic users.
Yeah, Mr. Heat Miser. She finds Mr. Heat Miser
from the Rankin Bass claymation stuff. My other thought in trying to guess what they would do would be, well, give Anna powers. Okay.
So that was actually where I was thinking it was going to go in the first one. My thought was, there were reasons why it couldn't go that way, but my thought was Anna just hadn't come into her powers, and her powers were actually the complement to Elsa's. So Elsa was freezing things, and Anna was going to be the one to melt them, right?
Sure.
So like it was going to be something like, oh, Elsa has the frozen heart, right? She's locked herself away from everyone and everything, and nothing can. Everything must freeze so that nothing is ever in danger or changes.
Sure,
because change brings bad things.
Change is bad.
Anna breaks through that wall of ice and melts Elsa, and they come back together. And she was going to have some sort of like, I don't know, sun powers, something like that was my initial thought.
Yeah.
I'm glad it didn't go that way actually. And I don't know if I want to. There's a part of me that really likes what they did with Anna. They made a character who doesn't have power. Like, I know all of the merchandising, everyone was crazy about Elsa. She's got these powers. All the articles and memes that I saw were how Elsa, especially for little girls, is so empowering because she's like a full-on superhero. She has powers, and she's a princess, and she's a queen, and she's just all these awesome things. And that is true. And unfortunately, I think that overshadows Anna too much. Anna is awesome in that she does all of these things. She's our hero, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
And she's chasing her sister. Anna doesn't have any powers. She's doing it because she's driven to do it,
I agree.
not because
I
she
agree.
has special abilities to do so. And at the what I like at the end of the second one is she is made queen.
Yes. Yeah.
Because of that, I do really like that.
You did, as the second one was ending, you're like, well, I don't like how we got here, but I like that we got here.
Yeah.
You liked that the ending was Anna is made the Queen of Arendelle. And I'm with you. I don't like the idea of Anna having powers. I like her being an every woman. I like her being so capable with just what she has. Her gumption and her spirit is her power. And I love that. And I want to keep that. I don't want to give her powers.
Yeah.
I'm of the mind of, look, we have an Arendelle is the ice kingdom. It's not just iced over, but that's right. Let's have another kingdom that the conflict is another another power and another season, and you can merchandise the hell out of that. To have the enemy of Elsa be another princess who has a different power set. If it's earth, fine. If it's fire, you got the little lizard dude. That's merchandising like crazy right there. What could the conflict be? Is the Duke of Weselton seek out another powerful, right? Does he try to say like, you must go to Arendelle and take over, and I will help you, right? And like, does he think he's gonna be Tarkin to a Vader, and then gets chucked down a well? I mixed this metaphor up. Does Weselton seek out a champion that can go up against Elsa? Right. I'm just throwing this out.
Sure.
As a
honestly, that just thinking about that, not worrying about the demands of making sure we have something for all of our heroes, because I think no matter what we choose, we'll get there.
Sure. Yeah.
Just
start with
but trying to figure out what the villain is, basically the what's going to cause the conflict. Weselton, I think, is probably a great place to start. So in watching that first one, I know we went back and forth about like, they didn't establish Hans as the bad guy very well. There's a bunch of problematic things that happened there.
The dominoes fell really clunky.
Yeah. And we talked about ways to address that. But they had Weselton there. Clearly he like I don't know if he was meant to be the red herring villain, but again, clunky. They didn't set that up right to make it fall that way either. So, and they're still around. Hans is still around. We could still do something with Hans. Could still do something with Weselton. That was a very long way to say, yes, I agree.
Well, I didn't even consider Hans coming back into this thing. He is available, but let's not pull that yet. Let's try, because one of the issues I do have with Frozen 2 is that movie does not stand on its own. I don't think you could pop in Frozen 2 without seeing Frozen 1 and have as rich of an experience without, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
And I know there's a whole argument of like, should sequels be interconnected?
I was going to have a whole conversation debate with you about that after we watched that movie, and then
I don't think we
do that.
It's like we talked about other things.
Went home.
I would like to see this movie.
I don't know if it can stand on its own.
No. Maybe I'm looking for the wrong thing here. I'm not trying to anthologize this, but I don't want to retread the ground that we already went over in the first Frozen. I think Elsa is capable. She's comfortable in her power set. I'm okay with it. I want the villain to be an outside force. I don't know. I'm a little like muddled in my thoughts right now.
So I think what the second one did do right at its core, I think it was exploring the things that an audience is left wanting to know and wanting to explore, which is what happened to their parents? What made Elsa what gave Elsa these powers to begin with?
See, and okay.
And if you don't explore those, they are still questions that are just in the air. And I think you don't need to spend too much time on it, but you need to then craft your story in a way that sidelines those questions and or hand waves them away
No,
in a satisfactory manner.
You're good. You're right.
Yeah.
This is I'm not interested in the death of the parents as something I want to explore, but
Sure.
I do think you're onto something with exploring where did these powers come from,
Sure.
right? If part of the conflict for Elsa internally is that yes, she's in more control of her abilities now and she can do way more, but she keeps getting more powerful, right? Like if that's and so it's I need to understand my powers, Anna. I sometimes scare myself with what I'm capable of doing. I'm in control. And so if another character shows up with abilities, there's a curiosity there. They will ultimately be a threat for them to clash against, but it's a willing clash because Elsa's going to be like, how did you get your powers? Can you tell me things? I'm going to fight you so we can talk. Maybe.
It's funny. The more we do this, the more I feel like I see how and why they came to the story they did. Because I think they wanted to do all of these things as well. And they're like, okay, so we're going to explore it through because we know nothing about the family.
Right.
And why the kingdom itself just seems to be at eternal peace. Well, how and why is that? Well, what if there's this whole other place that, right, the conflict that then happened, also they're expanding on the world, which is a thing that we would want to do here.
Sure. Okay.
And
I'm willing
sorry,
to...
I'm falling down their hole. I need you to keep me from falling down their hole.
I'm
I know
trying
you're
to pull you out of there. I'm trying to pull you out of there. But
I'm for whatever reason, I'm not enthralled. I'm not grabbed by another
magic user,
another sorcerer.
Disney has a villain problem.
Yeah.
Who's the villain in the second one? It's their grandfather. Their grandfather made a really stupid decision, a political decision that ensnared these two people who are sort of angry at each other but exist in a finite space. So
that was so the theme, the moral of Frozen 2 is this is why arranged marriages occur. I mean, I realize it wasn't arranged, but essentially what made peace between the kingdoms was the marriage of the grandchildren.
Yeah.
It's a very magical way of exploring arranged marriages.
Well, I think, okay, fine. If we're going to have another kingdom that was inadvertently cursed by a poor decision of the father, okay, we can explore the lore or the history of this family that led to this bad decision, but there still needs to be a real villain in this.
Yeah.
The movie is only as strong as its conflict and its villain.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a problem with the first one's villain. The movie managed to succeed because of this alternative love story between sisters. Elsa's technically like the antagonist to Anna being the protagonist. That all worked. I like the first one fine. But now if we're crafting the second movie, we need a real villain here.
Sure.
And the Duke of Weselton recruiting some villain to go after Arendelle is my suggestion. But if not that, then, hey, trying to figure out where my power came from, follow my parents, find this land. Oh, oops, our family cursed this land and they don't like us.
Well, I mean, there's no reason that we can't marry the two. What if Weselton is the one who's actually pursuing where did this power come from?
There you go. That's something right there.
Now, this might be a little too Moana, but what if the parents and or the grandparents or the place where Elsa gets her powers is the heart of the North, like something about the wintry Arctic was somehow taken for the betterment of Arendelle, right? Like they did this for the prosperity of Arendelle. That's why Arendelle has an entire industry of people who sell ice.
Nice. Well, during the summer.
Yes. But nonetheless, that's a thing that the movie shows us, and that means they're going somewhere where there's ice even during the summer to sell it, right? So that we don't have to go there.
No.
That's the first thought.
Can I piggyback?
So then the far north is this disgruntled. I'm going way too Moana at this point. I think.
Let me. Can I piggyback
Sure.
on this? Okay. The idea that some artifact, some MacGuffin, was taken by their great grandfather to empower him to become king, to become the king of Arendelle, found the kingdom through this power that rippled through time to get to her having abilities based on this artifact. I'm hand waving right now. wherever that was taken from could be a land in perpetual drought and perpetual dry, because their source of water and life was taken away from them, right? So when Elsa returns, she embodies the power that was stolen from them. So
I see what you're saying.
Maybe.
So Elsa is very powerful, and we could extend her power to hydromancy, but really her power is cryomancy to get
wow
technical on you.
I hurt from that slap in the face of nerddom. I love it.
Which means that it wouldn't be about the removal of water. It'd be about the removal of heat. If that matters. I don't know why I emphasized that so hard. Because I had nothing to follow it up with. Like that was some sort of big important punch.
Okay. And plus you are right that you are in Moana territory about returning the heart of the ocean, returning the heart of the land. So maybe that's not the way to go either. Weselton seeking out, where did Elsa get these powers? There's something there. Okay,
so what if it is magic to the north, right? We can bring in something, unless did they already? I don't think they did. Bring in like the magic of the Aurora Borealis. That's always a mysterious.
The sky's awake, so I have to be too. So the Aurora Borealis is in the first one.
There you go. And maybe that's the spirit that watches over Elsa. I don't know. And so Weselton going north, trying to find it. Trying to find where these powers, like his research has found that her parents went north, and through these adventurers he's hired to find things, has found out that they had adventured north themselves, and had gotten the blessing of
spirits, the gods,
the great Arctic bear,
the great Arctic bear.
Double Arctic means bear. I mean, so it's saying the great bear.
Quite
bear.
you.
It's right. So maybe he goes up to take something, and when he steals I'm just going to keep saying the heart of the north of the Aurora Borealis. Now he doesn't quite, because it's a object he has. It's not imbued within him. He doesn't quite have the powers of Elsa, but he has like minor abilities to like shoot or I don't know something. But what it's doing is it's taking Elsa's powers away.
Oh,
so now
you're doing the
we don't want to.
You're going to the typical superhero sequel where the character starts losing their powers.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to attack you.
I'm typical. That's fine. It's
you're so basic, Jim. Weselton. So you don't like the idea of an Elsa equivalent that she has to go face to face with, toe to toe with another power user.
That's the Marvel origin movie, right? You got to fight someone with your same powers.
Well, not ice though. With earth powers, or fire powers, or wind powers. I think wind's too close to the ice.
Like I said, it's not grabbing me. Probably because it is so much superhero. It's not a superhero sequel, but it is very much a very superhero type.
Think of it
because you're basic too.
I deserve that. Think of it as the sorcery that it is.
So let's okay. I will follow you down this road. What do you got for me?
I gave it to you. Okay. If there is so if the Duke of Weselton is trying to find the source of Elsa's powers, and sort of if he's unlocking what did her parents do, what did her grandparents do, what led to this happening, right? I don't know if we need to go curse or it needs to be an object, but something that her lineage did that led to not just her powers as a being, but as the power of Arendelle, and he's seeking that out. This is the opening the movie with Weselton doing an Indiana Jones to find an object or something, right? And coming across a cursed land, or finding out that there are other. They already played in the last Airbender territory, so I'm willing to go there too. That Weselton is like, she has ice powers, water based, if you will. Yep. There's got to be fire, earth, and wind somewhere. I'm going to find one and or more of these to then try to take over the world. to try to take over Mike Arundel.
Now, I believe the little bit we got with Wesselton's character.
Yeah.
It is in his nature to exploit something like this.
Yes.
But it was also in his nature to be afraid of and want to lock up and kill.
Never underestimate
well.
the power of anger in a weasel. Bless you.
Thank you.
That
Okay,
if
I
he's
just wanted to make sure that I wanted to put us on the same page of he is his
he's virgin.
greed.
Yeah.
It will overpower his fear.
He is to a point incompetent.
Sure.
Getting him angry, and he's angry enough, having failed here in the first movie, to have a little bit. Some time has 3 years have passed between movie 1 and movie 2. I'm willing to keep that time frame so that we can open with, I have been searching for 3 years and I have found my champion to go up against Queen Elsa. I would like to hire you, right? Or if he's manipulating to be like, oh, your fiery, warm sand kingdom seems to be affected by some cold. Oh, brr. I bet it was Arundel. Like, does he manipulate the attack into happening? I don't know. I think Wesselton's a good like linchpin of starting the conflict, because you're right. Arendel's in perpetual peace. They had to manufacture a conflict in Anna or Elsa suddenly starting to hear voices from the past for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, that call could still be there. She could still be drawn to another kingdom. There could be a hidden kingdom in the south that uses earth or wind or fire powers that's far enough away, an ocean away.
What would be her call to action to do that? Because right now we're building a situation where Wesselton powers up and comes to Arundel, and that I don't think is the direction we want to go.
Okay.
We want to
get her to go figure out this is.
Yes.
I'm going to throw a suggestion out there. Elsa's power, she contained it. She hid it away until it came out.
Mm-hmm.
If Wesselton somehow tracks down a southern kingdom that uses one of the 3 other elements and inadvertently unlocks another ruler who is containing their ability and lashes out, suddenly there's a perpetual earthquakes or a perpetual fire or perpetual wind, and Elsa's like,
what's causing this?
Hey, this is and Wesselton can be like, oh, not again. Right? Like, if he's inadvertently involved in activating another sorceress, maybe, or angering a sorceress enough to start a wildfire, and then we can have an environmental message about global warming. Maybe. Okay. Let's take a breather. Let's just step away, shake this off, because I don't think we have anything quite sticking yet. I don't think I've sold you on any of my ideas, and
No, I guess you haven't, because I'm not willing. I haven't found a place to pick up the ball and run with it yet.
okay. Well, let's refill our drinks real quick here, and then we'll come back.
Okay.
And see where we can go with it. So here's a quick message from some friendly folks over at 65 Media.
One heist, 6 plots for betrayal. When Raya Cautela cons 5 other thieves into helping her steal a magical artifact from the most powerful man in the world, she knows she's playing with fire. What she doesn't know is that the rest of her crew is just as underhanded as she is, and they all have plans of their own. M.J. Kuhn's Among Thieves, a fantasy heist novel full of twists, turns, and betrayal, available beginning September 7th wherever books are sold. Visit mjkuhn.com for more details.
Jake, have you ever been looking for a definitive Nintendo ranking and can't seem to find it because it's just everybody's own opinion?
Honestly, all the time, Sam.
Well, I'm looking for someone to give us the answers.
Wait, you mean like a podcast made by 2 young, handsome men where they create a definitive top 5 list of all things Nintendo?
Should we just do it ourselves?
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Let's give it a shot. I'm Sam.
And I'm Jake.
And at Top 5 Nintendo, I'm going to give you my top 5 list.
And I'm going to give you my top 5 list.
And then we're going to duke it out and see what the real top 5 is.
Okay, and we're back. All right, here we go. Okay.
Okay.
I did a lap around the room.
Uh-huh.
Multiple laps around the room.
Yep.
Kind of got the blood flowing here.
I laid face down
Yep.
in the dead man's pose.
Dead man's pose. Arms prone
yep.
at the side. Just whole body prone, arms at the side.
Yep.
And
That whole time.
yep. I did ask you if you're okay, and you said, "Don't talk to me."
Yeah.
Okay, so while you were face on the ground, have you had any thoughts?
No, I was in dead man's pose and no thoughts.
No thoughts. You had said you can see why Disney went where they went.
Yeah.
If that's the case, can we fix the existing movie, or do you want to try to go in a completely different direction here?
I kind of want to go in a completely different direction.
I do too.
I think
I'll give you the
what is there could be fixed,
Yeah.
but it's still pretty placid. I think
it's to me it comes down to the villain. Disney has had I could go on a whole diatribe about the Disney villain problem for the past few. This new renaissance has given us some great stuff, but we don't. You like you said when we were watching Frozen, you're like, look, he doesn't have to be Jafar.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice if he had been.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a villain issue.
Mm-hmm.
So what were your thoughts going?
I want to crib more from what they did.
Okay.
So like, for example, as we were watching, I was really hoping, because several times Elsa kept basically wishing to find someone like her.
Yes.
Yes. Honestly, that's not what she found.
No. She's still alone in the world.
Yeah. And so I think I'm more on board. I'm getting closer to what you were saying with finding others who also have these nature powers. But I also think Disney explored a bunch of other things that are going to be important to explore. An audience wants to know these things.
The parentage.
So
the power set.
Yeah,
we still don't have an answer where the power came from.
Well, don't we? Well, they I assumed it was sort of I don't want to get into that. we don't truly know where the power came from. It's assumed it came from the curse of the forest, / blessing of these two kids. No, like that's where it came from. Is the nature spirits were all like, nah, y'all Arendelle people messed it all up. Gonna get y'all by locking you in the mists of time. Except the one girl was like, no, I think this one's cute. And nature was like, all right, you two are together forever. And they were. And they made a little baby. And the baby had essentially the nature's blessing in it, which was to freeze things.
Very good. We can still make that revelation, I think.
Sort of. I don't I don't need that one. We can find something else if that's what happens. Sure. Fine.
I derailed you. Keep going.
Where was I going? Oh shoot. Where's the things I was going to keep?
Yeah.
The song. Elsa hears the song. Maybe she hears it first, but she's not the only one that hears it. I actually think lots of people hear it. Oh. Everyone doesn't know. There's a mystery to everyone. The thing is, this song is also going much further than Arendelle. Wesselton hears it. And so Wesselton, everyone, including Wesselton, is coming to the north, is coming to Arendelle. Like the song seems to be coming from this direction. We must go here. So it's now a little more of a race between Elsa and company to beat to get to the source of all of this before Wesselton, who's really going to be the only contender. There, we could have a couple others. It really comes down to Wesselton, who knows the area. That's a terrible impression. I'm going to leave that to you.
I'm heading to the north.
Yes, there you go. Right, with him and his crew.
Okay. Okay.
Because he wants to capture and or destroy whatever this mystical thing is, because he fears the magic and wants to dominate.
For the past 3 years, I've been trying to hunt down magic and destroy it.
Yeah. And Elsa needs to know, like, oh, this must be whatever I am, and I need to find it. So I think that gives us the adventure, and we can keep several of the things they do, like the enchanted forest, with the mists of forgotten time.
Right.
That could still work.
The fire spirits.
We get to keep the fire salamander. I'm pretty sure I keep saying salamander because I'm insistent on inserting certain mythologies. It doesn't have to be a salamander.
That's fine.
But it keeps the rock guys.
Yep.
I like keeping them. we can have our characters go to the trolls for advice for
Basically the
ancient wisdom.
Yes, yeah.
Right, because if we were to take them to a far off land, we would have to do the troll advice real early,
Sure.
and it would be much less meaningful.
Well, the troll does say at the center at the beginning, like, you need to figure this out. We will watch the kingdom. You go. At
Sure,
the beginning
and
of the movie.
it could be the same type of thing, and that seems a little dismissive.
If we could,
it's
not that we can't utilize the trolls, but having Christoph come upon some other trolls, rock trolls,
nice.
to be like, hey, I'm from the Southern tribe. Like, hey, how you guys doing? Like distant relatives or
that's
some
not
sort
bad.
of. So then he's part of like one of the crossroads they meet. He can help them select the right path. I meant narratively crossroads.
Yeah.
Is if he's able to communicate with them to kind of send them on their way. So we don't have to use the same rock trolls, but using Christoph's. He was raised by rock trolls, using that in a way. I also think we need to keep his song "Lost in the Woods," but it should be when he's told not to follow them, he's gonna go, "Of course I'm gonna follow them," and then get lost in the woods.
Yeah.
And then he could come across the rock trolls.
Interviewing.
Yeah.
I know you really liked how they did that. That was, I guess, the highlight for you.
It doesn't have to be a full-on
80s rock anthem.
I am the man who will fight for your right.
the Karate Kid sounding song. It doesn't have to be that.
In hindsight, that was fun. To me, it felt very out of place.
It is out of place, but the whole movie is a mess. Okay, so drawn to this voice somewhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
She goes to it with Anna in tow, Anna and company in tow. Christoph. Do they bring more people with them? I don't think they necessarily have to.
No, they don't have to.
So the rock trolls can protect Arendelle, I guess. You know what? Marshmallow and the rock trolls can watch Arendelle while they're gone. The big,
Yeah, because we didn't get to visit Marshmallow, and he didn't come
No,
again.
he's at the stinger at the end when
Oh, that
Olaf
was the
tells
stinger
the
of
whole
the
story.
second one?
Yeah, and he has all the little snowmen.
Why did I think that was a stinger at the end of the first one?
The end of the first one is him also where he puts the tiara on.
I don't remember that. You're right.
Double
okay.
feature, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, you had mentioned keeping the mists of time. The Arendellians, the soldiers who are stuck in this mist for 30 some years. I would like to suggest that the mist of time, if we have some people stuck in there, they should be displaced from time.
Yeah, I don't think we're not going to have the same plot. It's not it's not Grandpa Frozen went to the north and caused a mischief.
Yeah.
That started all this. I think something else did.
Okay.
I don't know what.
I'm saying this in the way to say that, like, if some of these soldiers were lost 30 years ago, to them no time has passed when they come across them. That they are displaced from time in that way. As opposed to being trapped there for 30 some odd years, to them they don't know how much time has passed. Time passes funky in this lost forest.
I think they actually did do that in the movie.
I thought
they had aged,
yeah,
but they didn't know that they did, but they didn't, because some people were born in it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just remember the way that they were behaving when Elsa and company first came across them. They were acting like they were still in the same conflict.
They were,
but 30 years, that conflict they wouldn't have just been meeting there in the forest to hack each other up. like they were.
Okay.
You know, it was weird. It was strange.
It wasn't quite clear enough to me. So I guess
I guess it wasn't clear enough to me either.
Regardless.
So let's make it clear.
They're still drawn on this adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Can we lose the info dump that this whole movie, like the prophecy storytelling that Mama gives her at the beginning, that doesn't.
If we're gonna do anything like that, it needs to be in some sort of clever song. And very, very like way fast, way in the beginning.
Okay.
They spent, yes, I agree. They spent way too much time expositing, trying to set up whole new things. Like the trolls saying, we knew your power would eventually get out of control. No. Why didn't you say it in the first one? You said it was going to get powerful, and there was going to be fear, and we dealt with that in the first one. You can't go and make a whole new prophecy, trolls. Yeah, no, get out of here with your also.
Get out of here, trolls. I see your magic is yellow now. Less evil, I see. Fan theory. Moving on. Okay, so being drawn to this, which is the revelation of the spirits and all the power that Elsa is linked to in this this lost forest, right? And Weselton being drawn to this as well. Is there any reason that I don't think Weselton's the best. I think he's a good like low tier villain. I still want a real threat here. Is there any reason that one of the other people drawn to this is Elsa's bad guy counterpart? Because then so like there's the she makes the friend in the forest that kind of gives her some more background, more exposition. Instead of using that voice actress to voice just like, hi, I'm a villager you meet, here's some things, you're cool, bye. You're gonna lead us when this movie's over. If there's a confrontation with her counterpart that leads to, instead of beating each other into submission, coming to an understanding of their powers and becoming friends in the end, and resolving their conflict without their powers, resolving their conflict with words and their hearts, which Anna could be the one trying to convince Elsa to do in the first place. Look, you guys can't keep throwing your powers at each other. You need to talk this out. Stop. I will stand in the middle of your battle and the climax of this movie, and once again, with my pure heart, put a kibosh on this, and let's just talk this out. Why are you so mad at each other? You have no reason to be. Somewhere with that?
I like Weselton as the primary villain. You want to
give me my final confrontation.
You want to keep him goofy is what you're saying.
Yeah. Instead of giving him so much power over the villain position that he has to be defeated in the end. Because what's that final confrontation look like? Like the final confrontation in what we got was, okay, Grandpa was a bad guy, and now we have to destroy the dam, and then Elsa stops the dam from flooding Arendelle. Is that enough?
So what if the music has happened? They need to find out why the song is happening. So Elsa and company go out, and or someone comes to them to tell them, hey, this is what's happening. Weselton is leading expeditions. He doesn't have to be like literally the one stabbing everything. He's not that guy. He's the one who tells people to do things.
Go stab them over there. Use your crossbow and shoot her.
Yeah. But he's getting people to travel into the enchanted forest.
Into the unknown.
Yes. Into I'm sorry. He's sending people into the unknown into the unknown.
Thank you.
To capture things, to capture anything he can,
like a salamander.
Like that. And the song is coming out because the magic, the nature spirits, the things there are getting desperate. Right? They're being captured by Robotnik.
Okay, and they're calling for help.
Yes.
Okay.
And so Elsa is like, "What is this sound?" And they start finding out. And maybe in those travels, they come across the other elemental lists.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily trust each other. They're like, maybe one of them is like, I don't trust you, freezing lady.
I have a fiery heart.
Yeah. Whereas like one of the other ones is all like, no, I'm here for friends.
Yeah, I'm nice and breezy about this, so I feel good about it.
Yeah. I think you're getting what I'm putting down.
Okay.
And so then in the end, the final conflict is basically Weselton is on the verge of winning. He's about to box the Aurora Borealis. Sure. I really want to put that in here, I guess.
Yeah. Aurora Borealis.
Right. And that could even touch on your wanting to put an environmental message in here, right? He's basically removing nature from nature.
Okay.
He's removing the spirit of the forest of nature,
of the world,
and he's destroying it, and he's capturing it. And so the final thing is not necessarily that he has, not that he's going to become Ursula and giant and powerful, but like things start happening, like nature starts reacting.
If
It's
he's
getting out of control. So there is a giant storm.
Yeah.
And he's like, yes, you shan't control it. I will with these boxes.
No. Okay, I think you're onto something
Okay.
here. If he's discovered the hidden forest where Elsa's powers came from, some
Mhm.
sort of source of her ability through her parents started here.
Mhm.
Grandparents, parents. I think parents is the right way because I like them coming from different lands and uniting. I like that still. If he's found the forest and he's taking stuff from it,
Mhm.
and now the forest is like calling out, help us.
Mhm.
We're things are being removed from us, right?
And it's dying.
And it's dying. If the things he's removed, such as rock monsters, wind, water, fire monsters, are being corrupted by not being in the forest anymore, now we have some things to fight. That the rock monsters have been corrupted by Weselton, and so they're just angrily reacting to any threat
Mm.
thrown at them, right? And also, what this does is, if reuniting all the things that have been removed forcefully from the forest back where they belong, the heroes working together to return to the forest, to the power of the forest, whatever. When the mist falls and there's now the choice of where these things can have the choice where they want to go. Elsa can choose to stay there with her new friends and rule that kingdom, and thus let Anna become the Queen of Arendelle. I really rushed through that,
Yeah.
but
There's some stuff there. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to have Weselton wield the magical power at all. Like, I know the corrupting monsters. It's something to fight. I don't think we necessarily have to do that, right? Like doing the giant rock monsters.
Yeah.
I think we can still have them. They're just sort of angry and they don't know who to lash out
So
at.
anyone who comes
So
in,
we have a scene where like, Elsa and company is what I'm going to keep calling them. Apparently, they're all like, "What's going on?" And the rock monster's like, "Get them!" And they're like, like, "No, gotta stop this." And so they need to stop that while trying to talk to like, "Hey, no, we're not here to fight you," kind of thing. And I realize it ends up looking a lot like Pocahontas the way I'm imagining it, but I'm imagining Weselton and his armada are like they're basically just they're people with tools that are destroying the enchanted forest, right? So like they're burning down trees and they're digging up using picks to like smash down boulders and mountains and what other elements can
They're
we have
damming
them to fight?
water.
Damming water,
Yeah.
yeah. They're doing all of those things, which is hurting is like literally how they're hurting the environment, and then also capturing the spirits of them. And if and when finally, when Elsa and her newfound friends are able to confront Weselton and his armada and free the spirits, the spirits come back and we get to see them do things like put the fire out and knock down the dam and restore things.
Right. I like where this is going. I'm trying to think what the finale of this looks like. So I'm going to try this again. You said you didn't like the idea of Weselton wielding powers. Go ahead.
Sure.
What were you going to say?
No, I don't know.
Okay. If I want to see Elsa and her three new friends fight a storm monster, the elementals of the Titans of Herculean legend, if you will. If you having to fight rock monster, fire monster, wind if Weselton's figured out a way to basically unite these things for ill, that the solution is we all need to unite ourselves for good to thus defeat these things.
So the first thing that comes to mind will require exposition.
We can exposit through song.
I feel like we've done a really good job of avoiding exposition while still, like, I'm imagining this requiring very little exposition.
Exposition is necessary. It's all the craft of exposition.
Sure.
And if it's just the most egregious recent example of this is Crimes of Grindelwald, where four or five people get in a room and go, and now here's my backstory.
Sure.
We can't do that. There is a way to exposit without it just being more and more and more and more.
So what if nature, what if the four elements that are there are holding at bay a terrible monster, what's the name of the demon in Fantasia?
A Cernabog.
A Cernabog, right? Like
Ooh.
there's something locked away.
Yeah.
And by Wesselton removing these magical bits, he thinks he's like, oh, these are terrible things, and I'm removing them. The
Oh,
thing is, by
yeah,
removing them,
okay.
he's basically picking the lock
Uh-huh.
to magical nature. And once all of these things are removed, the terrible monster is freed.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is what our
Heroes.
avatars.
Yeah, basically.
That's what our heroes are. Our power imbued people. That's what they have to actually fight.
Mhm.
And then what we can have, what Anna would be doing. Anna's not going to get out there, roll up her sleeves, and punch a entropy monster.
No.
No. Anna. What Anna's going to do is she's going to confront Wesselton and his men as they cower for like, they're all terrible, right?
Oops. What have
And
we
she's
done?
going to be like, no, you need to like see the error of your ways and put things back. So like maybe she talks to them because there's going to be too many things that they've captured for them, for Anna and Kristoff and Olaf to by hand let out of the cages. So she convinces Wesselton's people to
release them. Let them
the
go
spirits.
back. Okay,
Yeah.
I like this. The only thing I want to tweak here is that whatever this final boss battle is,
Mhm.
I don't want it to be a giant. I want it to be I want it to be the power of something massive contained, because I don't want it to be so similar to the near battle with Tafiti at the end of Moana, which is a giant island-sized monster that's trying to destroy Maui, and Moana gets to it, right? So if it's
I liked the battle of the Little Mermaid and Ursula.
I get it, but we can't have
I guess she
another
didn't fight.
movie
Why not?
with our heroes fighting a giant.
I think it's pretty traditional to Disney classics.
I'll give you giants. I'm just suggesting that whatever this like singular thing they have to defeat is wielding giants, or like commanding the nature,
Why?
because I don't want another giant monster to fight. I don't want it to
okay.
be Tafiti. Like, I'm just saying we're following Moana. We can't have back-to-back villains.
I'm saying we're following in a number of Disney classic traditions.
If we didn't have one movie before be a giant monster, is what I'm saying is the problem. So you have to take that into consideration.
I really like. On one hand, I feel like I'm fighting you just to be pedantic, but on the other hand, I feel like there is a tradition in it. So I'm halfway there, is what I'm saying.
I can see it both ways. My fear from a creative perspective is we're just repeating a similar battle to the final of Moana.
What if? How about this for a compromise?
Other adjectives? No, adverbs.
What if
Conjunctions.
one of the first characters we meet,
Yeah.
they don't know what this song is, what's going on, and someone comes out of the enchanted forest, a tiny little monster, right? A creature, something.
a toy that we can sell. Thank
yeah.
you. I'm in. You've
Yeah.
got me. Keep going.
But it talks, right? It's going to have to talk.
Even better.
And it's
celebrity
seeking-
voice.
it's,
I'm loving it. Keep going.
Maybe we'll just recycle the Fergie monster from Black Cauldron.
Sorry, I will do this more correctly.
Oh, yeah, keep going. Oh, yeah.
Oh no,
Here
that's
we go.
terrible. No, I don't want to hear Mickey do that.
No.
That's
Tell me more.
I don't need
Tell
to
me
hear
more.
jonesing Mickey.
Give me a toy. Give me a toy. A little creature comes out of the mist. Oh, yeah.
But it comes to Arendelle and it's seeking help. That is what's going to give us a bunch of our exposition
Yeah.
as to Elsa, I need your help. This is why you need to come help. And the trolls are like, you shouldn't listen to that, dude. Don't listen. But they're like, but he needs the help and the song and all these things. I think we need to go.
Yeah.
And they go. And I think there are 4 of them. We only learn this eventually when Elsa meets the other power wielders, is we find out that other little dudes like this creature have gone to them
Do they look different?
a little.
Oh, yeah.
Not much.
Oh, that's fine by me.
Because then they all join up into one, and they're not giant yet. They're now just
yeah.
like a person size.
I'm liking this.
And as because this is actually like the little bit of its power that it was able to get free, right? So this is an avatar of the monster that is locked away
In the center of the
Yeah.
misty forest. Yeah.
So when it finally the 4 of them get together and Wesselton has why would it seek out
Wesselton. Yeah,
shoot.
no, you're fine.
Because he wouldn't summon the heroes that can defeat it.
The call of the forest,
Mhm.
right, is you're honest. Like, I still like the idea that song is in the wind and everyone is sensing it and hearing it, and that's what drew Wesselton there. And I think we're wonderfully diminishing Wesselton's ability as, like, he's not the true villain. I like this. I like where you're going here. You're wondering why would the big monster send out little monsters to draw in the heroes?
Yeah.
Because they have powers and he wants that power.
But that's the power that locks it away. That was my initial thought. We can change that. Ultimately, what the compromise I was trying to get to is the cage is opened and the four little guys they join up into one big guy, which is not super big. It's the size of a person.
Sure,
but the power that is unleashed, it's able to basically not quite turn itself into what would be an example.
It's like summoning powers.
Almost like I'm imagining it like it creates an aura around itself that is a giant. Like you can see it at the heart of the beast, but I still get my giant.
Yes,
I get my one giant that they fight.
I'm in.
But we see the single guy person
in the center.
Like the glowing center of it.
That we can have a well-crafted Voltron joke. I love it. Okay. Yes, here we go. I think we've got our villain. I think we've got villains. I think this works. The question of where the powers came from and the parentage, right? Do you still want to craft the plot around answering that question? Because meeting other airbenders or other benders, fine, I'm doing it.
Yeah,
meeting them, she's going to be able to say, when did your powers go? Like, this is amazing. And this also distance, this is a little bit of struggle for Anna to feel left out.
Sure.
Because her sister is making new friends and is going to...
Also, I just want to clarify, none of them are love interests for Elsa.
No, they're contemporaries. They are acquaintances, right? Like, we don't have to.
That was a thing I was afraid they were going to do. As they're like, I just want to find someone else who's like me, and like they're going to they're going to give her a love interest,
boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you want to go with.
And I'm glad they did not.
We will be as subtle as you want to be, and you guys can stand or ship anyone you want of the four avatars, the four. But then she'll be able to question how did their powers manifest, we're getting somewhat of an explanation of their abilities because their parents had visited this forest at some point, right? Like, are we still going to be able to answer that this is the source of all these powers? And if so, are we going to do anything more with the parentage?
Would probably need to. So the first thing that comes to mind is we meet, I don't know, eight people, 8 couples, right? Eight kings and queens, 8 emperor leaders of nations who have all met to corral this monster, and thus the pact is sealed and they've gone home. Now the only problem with that is, why don't they remember that? That was not a part of the backstory that came out, right? That technically, it's not a curse, but like that would have been medical information the trolls would have needed,
unless we're talking generations and generations and generations that the parents were just
thing that's passed down and the parents don't even know.
It's can it be like so far removed from their lineage that it's myth? Because then you could have the song that the mother sings at the beginning that sort of gives us the hint of the answers to come of this old folklore. Your great 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 grandmother did this in the woods, and she was a part of that initial council of 4 kingdoms that locked that, or the grandfather, grandmother, whatever, that locked away the evil spirit. And it's just an old fairy tale folklore of Arendelle that's based on this 100-year-old truth.
Sure. I just don't want that song to be so slow. And it's a lullaby. That's a problem. You probably shouldn't start a movie with a lullaby.
Go to sleep. please go to sleep so I can. Oh no, it was all a crafty plan, right? If the song at the beginning of the movie puts the kids to sleep, the parents don't have to watch the whole movie 10,000 times.
Oh.
I see you, Disney. I see. Okay, so yeah, if their parents were just their parents, if that there was nothing,
They had no reason to know that it was
true.
a legacy that had been passed down.
Yeah, the only
Then why did it manifest with Elsa?
with Elsa? Exactly. That was the question I was going to answer. There is, what was it that activated it in Elsa, and that I don't quite know how to answer that, but maybe you do. As I
our bad guy. It took this long for the bad guy to get little bits of his power out into the world, and by doing that, it loosed some of the magic. Like think of it not as in like unlocking a lock, but like literally scraping away at the inside of his cage. Or so then
doomsdayed it.
the sort of and so the magical cage, as it was broken away, those bits of magic sort of trailed out through the through the lineage that had caged it.
Yeah,
And manifest. It's a bit heady, I think, to explain. I think it would work visually, right? You just following these lights going from the central place, shooting out across the countryside
to a Anna and Elsa's parents while mom's pregnant, and that is what activated her.
Or even a baby Elsa in a crib after her parents turn away, like you see a white light.
You're right. That is a bit like, whoa, that's a big concept to try to put into a kid's movie. But I don't think that's so wild of an idea that we can't go, oh,
I think visually I think you can explain that visually, which is always the thing I'm looking for, rather than somebody saying it in a paragraph.
Exactly. I think that works for the source of the power, the source of the villain, and the reason for. Okay. I like this. It's a road movie. I know I was complaining about following Moana with fighting big giant monster.
I really liked Moana. I do have a couple issues with it, and my issues are totally different.
That's a different episode.
Yeah.
Did we do this?
Mostly
What
we
did
didn't.
miss?
So we glossed over one of the demands is to make sure everyone has a thing to do.
Right.
I feel like we have a bunch for Elsa to do. She's going to meet some other magic users. They're going to have a magic battle at the end.
She's finding the source of her powers. She and Anna are learning about their parents and the history of their family.
And we can have a bunch of encounters, honestly, that probably would look to give you an idea of what it would be like, a more Disneyfied version of Princess Mononoke.
Yeah. All right.
Right? Because the Iron Town is Wesselton here.
Wow, this is a good culty reference.
I think that's, and Wesselton's able to do it because the Enchanted Forest isn't in Arendelle's territory, so he can just sail right past.
All right. I like Kristoff wanting to propose to Anna. When I first saw it, I didn't. I was like, really, we're going here? But I liked the situational comedic nature of it. It's sweet. He's a cool character. I like the idea of him being told not to follow and then getting lost in the woods, meeting the trolls and getting some exposition dump that he can then impart on our heroes to get them to the next stage. I think Anna being left out is something to explore here, that she's losing her sister.
That's her personal arc, I think, if you will, and for what she does in the like her contribution to the defeating the Thanos' invading army is she talks down Wesselton's people, not him. Yeah, he's a Wesley guy.
Yeah,
it's Weasel. Wait. Rabbit hunting season.
But then she thus proves herself capable of being. So like, okay, yeah, I think we have something here. If she's always feeling herself, I'm supposed to be there next to you, Elsa. I'm supposed to follow you. I'm your sister. I'm second, and I embrace that. Which, holy shit, goes to the original music of Frozen. There's an original song that is cut from the original movie. That
you did not play that for me.
It's and it's written by the Lopez, the singer-songwriters of and it's about being the spare. That is the whole. There's like a plot about Anna feeling like she's unnecessary because the queen is there, the princess is there. So, but her having this sort of like not understanding that she could be the leader and ultimately proving it by uniting Weselton's people against him to free all the magic to help the heroes. And when Anna said, or when Elsa and her new friends are like, Elsa, no, I'm going to stay here. You get to be the Queen of Arendelle now, and you've proven yourself more than capable of doing so. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
So there's Anna's little arc right there. Little. That's a big arc.
No, yeah, yeah, I think so. I like that.
And I like
and
Olaf.
also I think there's a scene. So during the big fight, Anna needs to get to because she's going to put together. Oh, we got to release all those things that Weselton's captured.
Sure,
but that's way across this entire huge plot chasm. I got to get across it. I can't do it. And so Kristoff will, with his sleigh and Sven, race across this battlefield in the sleigh to get Anna there.
I liked it. I liked it.
It's that way. It's important. Like it would not have happened without him. I realize it's sort of just packing it in there at the end, but don't have anything for Olaf to do.
I like Olaf's growing up and having existential crisis questions where he's like, do you ever feel like all his very deep, quiet, like I'm getting deeper with age. Like I liked all that fun exploration of him maturing.
Okay.
I didn't mind him dying in the movie. They undercut it by immediately bringing him back at the end.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we have to kill Olaf.
No.
But him being present and being the Deus Ex through multiple things. Like in the first one where he's like, hey, I think I found a stairway to exactly where you want to go. Does that help? Like,
yeah.
Hey, Kristoff, I found this sled that Sven could attach to. Would that help? Like,
I think I immediately don't want to do this, but I'll put it out there just to put it in people's brains and yours, and maybe we'll just shoot this down right away. What if Olaf doesn't trust the golem,
the little golems that show up at the beginning?
Yeah.
Like, ooh, I don't like.
Like the trolls. The trolls also say, he's not wrong. There's something happening there. Maybe you should go, but be wary of the forest.
I am wary of the forest.
And then Olaf's like, I'm wary of the forest. I'm wary of him. Like I can see that being fun. I can see Josh Gad playing that well. I wonder if that actually undermines, because one of the things that's so great about Olaf is there is no like there's no negative flake
You're right.
in his body.
He even has a moment in Frozen 2 where he's like, I think I'm angry. Is that, and Anna's like, you're angry. Yeah, you have every right to be angry. Elsa left us. Like, so him having like
him being suspicious doesn't really work.
I mean, I can imagine him having a conversation with Sven, who he apparently has a whole relationship with, unbeknownst to Kristoff. Where like you said, you'd read stories to me, and I did. Him being like, "Hey, Sven, do you think I don't trust these little guys because they're just as cute as I am, and I just want to be the cute one, and they're so cute, and I love how cute they are, but I also don't trust them. Do you think that's on me? I don't know why I'm so distrusting. Like, maybe, like just lampshade it.
Sure,
maybe."
I think Olaf, like I loved his song about like, I'll understand this when I'm older.
Yeah.
Just the complete
Everything will make sense.
like innocent.
This will all make sense when I'm older.
Naivety.
Yeah.
Naivety is like the definition of Olaf.
I like that. It allows him that wide-eyed naivete. And allows him to ask really powerful questions.
Sure.
Sillily.
And as far as like the notion of like, hey, I think I'm feeling angry. Maybe the way we can do that here is because he is so trusting. It's right up until the last moment when the golems all join together. Yeah. And he's like, and like start doing a bad thing. He's like, wait, what?
You betrayed me.
What are you doing?
I think I'm angry at you.
Something like that.
I can't believe you do this to me. I mean, I don't know if I can forgive you.
I need to tell Anna or Elsa, or I need to tell.
And then they can like
someone.
capture him. And he's like, oh no, this is on me.
Maybe, yeah. Or maybe they melt him right there. And so then we could do something else with Olaf, like Olaf in spirit misty ghost form tells Elsa. I don't know. I don't know about that one yet.
Oof, I don't know if we can melt him on screen.
Maybe just capture him.
Yeah.
Why not? They did in a comic moment as he built the fire.
He died. Oh no, they did. They started to melt him in the first
Yeah.
one, and he like died on his arms in the
Yeah.
second one.
Um,
I like that though. That when he gets betrayed, he's like, "You betrayed me." Oh, actually, if there's a moment where him and Weselton can have an interaction, and Weselton
Sure.
does something underhanded, and your inevitable betrayal.
oh, sure. Maybe that. Maybe that's what happens. Although that sort of sidelines him. But I was gonna say, what if Weselton's people capture Olaf?
Curse your sudden and
Right? Because
inevitable betrayal.
he is a magical creature that they would want to do away with.
Oh, and that would put him if this is nearing the end of the movie, if Olaf gets captured and is in the cages and it's like, so how long have you guys been here? Boy, your cage is a lot more roomy than my cage. But I don't mind it. They gave me this great pile of hay. What do I need hay for? Do you want some, Sven? Like
Sure.
getting him
Also, speaking of Sven, I think Sven doesn't trust the golem from the beginning, but he's not just reindeer. Christoph would. I think
No,
it would be interesting to have one of the characters always be wary.
I think Sven is the right way to go
Yeah.
because Christoph speaks for him.
Yeah.
And like much like anyone speaks for their pet.
Yeah.
But much like the trying to get the minor recurring
the
gag
carrot, yeah.
of trying to bite the carrot. If he's like, I don't like that. Well, I don't know about these guys, Christoph. Oh, Sven, you're just being nervous about meeting new people.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think we got something here.
I think we do.
Ooh. This okay.
You know what we didn't do?
What's that?
We didn't establish any arc for the shopkeeper.
Woohoo! Woohoo! He's in the song at the beginning as one of their friends. Like he's there.
Oh yeah, he clearly he's moved to town.
Yeah.
And opened a shop. It's not even outside of town like he originally was.
What a great little guy! What a great little character. He's a big character. I think we could wrap it here.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty satisfied. I think with what we have here.
I think the main pieces are here. Where if we had to sit down and connect all these dots, I think we can.
Oh, we could still even have the upside down. We could have Elsa's upside down. And the thing is, in that moment, in that song, in that moment, right when she's like learning about the other elements, she gets hints. She sees other people in there as well. I mean, not very clearly. Like maybe that's actually when she gets pulled out.
Yeah.
Like, wait, there's others?
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm not alone.
Whoop.
Who are you? Who am I? Who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Like to
Just I'm trying to come up with moments, and like we do a lot of big strokes. I want to try to find more
I like
moments.
the occasional moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Having her doing her upside down song of questioning and seeing reflection around her, and then something moving independent of her, moving towards it, reaching out and looking into the face.
Singing its own song. Like maybe she hears harmonies.
Oh yeah,
slowly
duet
come
in
and
here.
like, wait, what?
What was it? And then she gets pulled out of it by Anna. Like, Elsa, are you okay? Yeah, that gives a cool visual call. Like early on to be like, there's more. I got to answer this call. We got a couple things telling them to go on an adventure. The could just be something that's a curiosity, but it's the little golems showing up and being like, "You got to go."
Answer
the call.
That's the actual call to adventure. I like that. I want to keep the moment where Elsa goes from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White. Like I
Let her hair down.
Originally, I was like, nah, but I actually think that's a good moment. Basically showing her next transformation.
Yeah,
and that I think might come later in our movie. Basically, when I think it should come with the reveal of the mystery, like learning about the others and learning about essentially their job as the caretakers of nature.
The culmination of the fairy tale song that started this whole adventure. Like the beginning of the movie, which is like, let me tell you a legend that all of us are going to see come true right now.
Yeah.
As
Like
I
actually think it should it shouldn't be focused on, like it shouldn't become a 4-person moment, but like in her transformation, we get to see the other power holders
Mm-hmm.
also like we get to meet them before they also have that reveal.
Yeah.
So in the end, all four of them, we see all four of them transformed.
Yeah.
They all let their hair down.
They all let their hair down. They all level up.
Yep.
All right. This is an interesting one. I saw it and I wondered what the demand would be and where we would go with it.
Mhm.
And I'm glad to see that we were able to figure something out here.
I hope so. We follow pretty close to what they did, and I hope that Mouse is okay.
Yes.
I hope you are
With-
too, Mouse.
With this,
I think this is what
this is what-
makes me.
This
feel
is what
better.
Walt would have wanted.
This is what unfreeze his head and tell us what. No,
Elsa could do it. No, she can't unfreeze things.
I think this satisfies my desire to see a better movie out of that second one.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly don't want to go into a long diatribe about your theory of like the ripple effect of sequels are judged on the movie. Like,
Oh no, no, that's weird.
that's a whole thing.
That's almost a almost academic.
Yeah.
Thing.
Observation
Yeah.
of sequels and whatnot. But I was disappointed by the second one because I thought, well, this just feels messy.
Mhm.
And hey, at the very least, what we've accomplished here is we've created way more merchandise for the House of Mouse. And I think that's really the most important thing here.
Yeah.
There's lots of places for some celebrity voices. There's some cool news. I think some of the songs we got can still work, but there's places here for more music.
And we've expanded the action figure and plush line.
One of the demands was to diversify the cast and having 3 other Elses, essentially,
Mhm.
male, female, or anything in between.
And not to mention, we didn't even go to. They could each have their own entourage. They don't have to have all. They don't all
have a
have.
Christoph, Anna,
yeah.
Olaf.
But they could have people that.
Yeah,
they
I think
could have their own groups traveling with them.
the salamander, the fire salamander's in there
Mhm.
somewhere. Like I think we've met the demand. I'm wondering how much this is going to stick with me, and I'm going to start like creating those little moments, or how we will as we continue this conversation. But for now, I think we can end the episode here. I think that we've reached the end of this part of the conversation. I'd love to know if we did in fact meet the demands Mouse has sent to us, or if anyone listening thinks we're on the right track here, or we completely missed something. Right?
Yeah.
I'm sure we did, but I'd love to know what everyone thinks. Wouldn't you, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do think I enjoyed watching them. I do think that maybe watching both wasn't not that it was a mistake, but I'm like trying to recall things that I'm like, oh, and we could have this scene still in there, but change it like this. I'm like, no, that was the first one, Jim. That was in the first movie.
I'll make sure
That doesn't mean
happen.
we can't have that in there as well. But
I'll make sure that doesn't happen. I got
Okay.
your back on that.
Thank
one, so. Well, let's do the social stuff so you can tell us how we did. You can find us at studiodemandsit.com, where you can send us a demand. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at Studio Demands It. Like and subscribe if that's the sort of thing you like to do. And if you feel like giving us a review, you can do it right there in an app on your phone. Super duper easy. And Jim sometimes lays prone face down on the ground, just wondering if more people will give us reviews. Is that what you were thinking about when you were there?
I will admit, my mind is supposed to be a blank in those moments, but that is the only thing that resonates through my brain.
And then you
the
wake
whole
up
time.
and you whinge at me about it.
Yeah.
You can find me as well as you can find Jim through me as well at TC's Big Head on Twitter and Instagram if you want to hit me up over there. Some of you I've been getting some recurring listeners who have been sending me, I've been getting you dropping into my DMs and give me some feedback on a couple of our episodes. So I appreciate that.
Excellent.
The listener interaction, it actually validates us as well as lets us know we're heading in the right direction. We ask you folks a lot of questions. We
do.
demand a lot of you as well.
We do, yeah.
Anyway, you can find us over there. Thank you to 65 Media for helping us get out into the world here. So you can check out everything 65 Media has. On our site, you can link to all the other shows such as AZP, Top Hat Balloon Stuff, Brothers in Law, Broad's Way to Broadway, Turn by Turn. Lots of cool stuff out there and lots more to come. But Jim, any final thoughts as we wrap up the episode here?
No,
Nope.
none.
None. You are
I'm
a blank slate.
laying face down.
Okay. Oh, I won't interrupt. Jim's gone prone, everyone. That's it for this episode. We will be back again to meet another demand and challenge the world challenge to improve the world. Blah, blah, blah. Cinema. Bait burp. I am TC. Jim, say your name.
What? I'm Jim.
Yeah.
I
Did you not hear me doing the sign
no,
over?
I'm thinking about stuff. I'm
Lay back
I'm
down.
thinking
Lay
about
back
the
down.
demand.
Lay
I'm
back
wondering
down.
because we didn't transport ourselves back to 2013.
Oh, shoot. I don't think anything we did doesn't work any less than it would in 2013.
Okay.
The animation would still be banging. Animation in
like-
that second one is so good.
I mean, obviously, we remade. Yeah, actually, we didn't even talk about that. The animation in
Holy
that
cow.
one,
That second
I
one.
feel is underestimated. It's so good.
So good. Like there are moments where they filmed a brook and
It
then
looks like it.
animated.
Yeah. Whew. No
Anyway.
uncanny valley for the valley itself.
No, we've crossed that, at least for the valley itself. That's it. We're leaving. That's how we end the episode. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time.